Hi, I did my episode podcast review over habit reversal for the ABA Inside Track, and the articles they had discussing in this episode was applying behavior analysis to clinical problems, review and analysis of habit reversal in the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis from 1998 by Miltenberger, Fuqua, and Woods. The treatment of vocal tics in children with Tourette syndrome, investigating the efficiency of habit reversal in the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis from 2003 by Woods, Twohig, Plessner, and Roloff. Brief review of habit reversal training for Tourette syndrome, the Journal of Child Neurology, year 2006 by Himlay, Woods, Piacentini, and Walkup. Behavior Therapy for Children with Tourette Disorder, a randomized controlled trial in the Journal of the American Medical Association, year 2010 by Piacentini, Woods, Scahill, Wilhelm, Peterson, Chang, Ginsberg, Deckersbach, Jazira, and Levi Pearl, and Walkup. So, for this podcast, talking about habit reversal, habit reversal treatment was originally designed to treat vocal and motor tics and stuttering and other nervous habits. The treatment doesn't have as much consistent research to use to be the effective treatment that it was stated it was. This was discovered, I guess, in the 1970s, and it kind of just got some of that sporadic research. So just it didn't have that consistency of other subjects. So to know how to reverse a habit, I guess you have to know the definition of a habit. A habit is a repetitive stereotype of behaviors that have negative physical or social effects for individuals. So, such as picking the skin, that would be physical, or vocal tics could cause embarrassment, which would be the social aspect. If there's a lot of stigmatizing. So, this podcast talked about tic disorders and then kind of differentiated Tourette's from tic disorders. I guess Tourette's is more of a neurological disorder that you have to have a certain amount of tics, certain type of tics at first so long to actually be diagnosed with that. So there's certain criteria that it has to meet to call it Tourette's. I know that I guess it seems like if someone has a tic, you automatically think, oh, well, they must have Tourette's, and that's not necessarily the case. So, fidgeting and nervous habits could be engaged in during boredom for sensory stimulation or to reduce anxiety. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a nervous habit. It could just be something that makes them feel better in general, but we usually call it a nervous habit. So the first step is to identify the habit and when it is about to occur, then have situation awareness. Am I in a situation of a lot of people crowding me? Am I about to take a test? Where are you at? Non-contingent competing response training was used, which is practice of a non-compatible behavior. So using the same muscles as your tic, but in a different way. That's not what your tic is. So engage in other responses like that for 3 minutes. And it's like the response that you're doing for 3 minutes is not going to replace the tick. It's like in competition with the tick. So you are trying to train your muscles to do other movement. And I mean, I can see how that could be difficult, especially, just thinking about like physical therapy, if you've ever been to that, and how you have to manipulate your muscles to do something different, or something they haven't really done before. And just imagine having to do that, especially with, you know, ticks happening in the face. I feel like that would be very difficult. So motivate the person by talking with them how the tick affects them, and then have them practice going to the public places to practice the new responses to um, those ticks, and then rehearse successful control of habits, imagining that they stated 8 1 hour sessions or less. The first session is used to teach them those habits, and then the next sessions are to maintain by practicing. And they also put in there with the regulations, there's like 10 steps in the 70s, but in the 80s they also decided that regulated breathing should be added to help with stuttering. And it will help with the response to not exactly match the tick, but it will help to combat it. So I think that this is a good indication to know what we can do for students in the classroom, because we know that they kind of have to try the opposite of what's going on to help them. So hopefully some of this information can help somebody as an educator. I really found this podcast interesting, and I hope you did too. Thanks.